City Council meeting. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Elkhorn City Council meeting. The meeting is called to order, and I would like to ask our city clerk to please call the roll.
All council members are present.
All right. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a brief moment of silence? And I would like to ask Pastor Kevin Miller to come up and lead us in the pledge. The city clerk posted orders of adjournment of the August 14th, 2018 meeting and the agenda of the September 11th, 2018 meeting in accordance with state law, council, and housing authority policy. And before we start today, I think it only fitting that we look back on September 11th and what happened with our country and how it brought our country together in many ways, and how it was one of the most devastating attacks on our country in history. And I think it would be only fitting to take just a brief moment of silence to remember the fallen and remember our country in general. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we have three presentations today. The first is a certificate of appreciation for Kathy Pillman. And because one of our other council members has been very active in this, I will hand this over to Mr. Goebel at this time. We can do it downstairs.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a certificate of appreciation presented to Kathy Pillman. Whereas the City of El Cajon hereby recognizes and applauds Kathy Pillman for her community support, her civic pride, and her vast efforts to keep our neighborhoods clean. And whereas, through Kathy's efforts, to date, Kathy and her team have picked up more than 5,300 pounds of trash and debris. And whereas Kathy's vision and hard work has resulted in beautifying some of the city's busiest and most visible locations, enhancing the quality of life for all. Now, therefore, Bill Wells, Mayor for the City of El Cajon, together with the City Council, do hereby express our appreciation and gratitude to Kathy Pillman and all residents that have contributed their time and efforts to beautify our city. Signed this 11th day of September, 2018.
So a couple of months ago, Kathy decided to round up the community and say, we think we can really have an impact on our community for a lot of the trash left around town. If some of the team who Kathy has recruited, if you want to go ahead and come up now, come up this way. Come on, team members, up, up, up. Come on over through this way if you participated. Here. 5,300 pounds so far, and that's just since July 28th, so about 6 weeks. You can see the images on the screen of some of the things that have been picked up off the street as abandoned. There have been drugs, there have been bicycles, there have been shopping carts. You can see before and after pictures here that these fine folks to my left and Kathy to my right and feel that they have, look at the before and afters. This is just remarkable what they have contributed so far. And yes, even abandoned prescription drugs, which are dangerous, just sitting out there in the open. So a great effort by all of these people. I'm going to let them introduce themselves in just a minute after I ask Kathy. So Kathy, why did you decide to go ahead and do this?
Complaining isn't going to get anything done. And so there's a lot of trash around El Cajon, and the only way to get it done is to report it to the right people, but sometimes the right people are busy. So I decided to form a group so that we can help out and make a difference.
Now, we added up the time that they have contributed to this. It's over $5,000 savings to the taxpayers that Public Works did not have to go pick up these things. So $5,000 savings to the taxpayers for this volunteer group's effort so far. They're not done. The group meets twice a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays. It's just a fantastic group, and they continue to drive, and you can see the results on the screen. It's just remarkable what their generosity is doing for the city of El Cajon. So I'm going to pass the mic down and let them introduce themselves so you know who's helping keep your community clean.
Michelle Metchell and family.
David Michael Ruponi.
Kathy Pillman, Sr.
Sue Goss, and if any of you want to come out and join us, we'd love to have you.
Ed Goss.
Nathan Cornett.
John McCall.
Ruth Thornton.
Jerry Goodron.
And then one more over.
I'm Phil Ortiz. This is Wesley. And we have a Facebook group, if I can promote that real quick. It's called El Cajon Community Cleanup Group. And I think Wes wants a word. But join the Facebook group. You can get updates of when the cleanups are going to be.
So let's acknowledge this great effort by this great group. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, everybody.
And thank you to Steve, too, because he also participates. Yes.
Just remember to watch yourself on television tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on Channel 24, so you'll all be on there. So be sure and tune in.
All right. Now we have a presentation from I Love a Clean San Diego, and I'd like to invite Natalie King. Natalia King. Pardon me. Oh, I get it. Anyway, Natalia's here, and she's going to tell us a little bit about this. And here you've got a PowerPoint presentation for us, Natalia. Thank you.
Would it be possible to use the handheld mic?
Yes, it would. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everybody, and thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members, for having me today. My name is Natalia King. I am the Recycling Programs Assistant with I Love a Clean San Diego. Let's see. How do I get this to go? So, like I said, I work with I Love a Clean San Diego. We're an environmental nonprofit. Even if you haven't heard of us, I'm sure here, as proof by Kathy and her group, everybody loves a clean San Diego. So I'm here to talk today a little bit just about our programs, and in particular one that I will highlight in the end. But quick overview of us. We've been around for 64 years, and our goal is to lead and inspire our community to become more environmentally empowered and engaged. We do this through example, outreach, and local involvement. So, like I said, we've been around for about 60 years. We originally started out as a political committee, the War on Litter, but then they flipped it many years ago, and it became not War on, but We Love. So, just a little highlight. Just last year, we engaged 31,000 people throughout the entire county. We picked up 398,000 pounds of trash in those 12 months. We also have many other programs like the storm drain stenciling. So we did about 800 storm drains, and then we handled 12,000 recycling inquiries as the recycling hotline for the county. So community programs, we have the Adopt a Beach or Canyon, which is where a group or family or whoever can go adopt a beach, do their own cleanups. Very cool event. We also have many county-wide cleanups. We actually have the biggest county-wide cleanup of the year coming up next Saturday. It's called Coastal Cleanup Day, and if anybody's free and wants to join, you're obviously welcome to. There's over 100 sites throughout the county that will be participating, so it's going to be a lot of fun. There's actually some flyers on that desk out in that main area, so if you get a chance after, please pick one up. We also have our education department who does presentations from K through 9. We also do like zero waste workshops and stuff like that. And in particular, I work with our recycling programs. As I mentioned, we are the recycling hotline for the county. So if you're ever unsure where to recycle, repair, or donate anything, and you say call EDCO and you're not sure what to do with your paint, they would actually refer you to me, and I'd be the one to answer the phone. So although recycling seems to be the highlight of the database, like I mentioned, we also have repair and donation options. We've also started adding stuff like zero waste workshops, composting workshops, energy efficiency rebates, a bunch of really cool resources, as well as just resources you can read through, like how to stop junk mail or where do I take certain things. So I just wanted to introduce this program and in particular give you a little demo. As you can see, here's some of the commonly searched items. People usually don't know where to take their paint or their motor oil or their refrigerators when they're done with them, and that's what I'm here to help you with. So, of course, we also want to highlight the involvement, and I will always encourage, as same with my team, that, you know, like Kathy and her group, that you get involved. Absolutely super cool, by the way, wherever she went. Kathy, huge shout out to you. That was really cool to hear about right before I went up, so thank you. But yeah, volunteer at our events. Like I said, we're going to be doing this big one next Saturday, but we're usually somewhere in the county 2 or 3 times a month picking up trash. So it's a lot of fun to be involved, especially for the really big ones when you get to help say, I helped pick up over 100,000 pounds of trash in a day. Really cool thing. So, sweet. So if you have any questions later on, you're free to contact me. This is my work email and my phone number. Would love to hear from you. And now I'm just going to do a quick demo on the actual database so you can kind of see what's going on. Sweet. So first of all, does anybody have an object off the top of their head that they don't know where to take? Yes. A computer. Okay. So if you go to this website called wastefreesd.org, it's pretty simple. You would go to, type in an item. So computer. Is it a laptop or a desktop? Okay, so we'll type in laptop. Good tip is if it doesn't populate, meaning you don't see the answer pop up, we don't have it in the system, but we do have a contact us button over here where you are welcome to actually call us. And so for some of the trickier stuff where there's like only one answer, we might not have it in here, but we might know on the back end. So please contact us. And then what's your zip code? 92019. Is that in the city or the unincorporated part? And for those who don't know what unincorporated means, it just means you're outside of city limits, technically county resident. Rancho San Diego. I want to say...
That's the county.
That's county, right? Unincorporated. Okay. Yeah. And then this is an event. Cool.
I also see a lot of people do e-waste.
Yeah. So Monday through Friday, I'm actually in the office working on this, finding new places that recycle, taking off, and adding events that do or don't. So for your laptop, is it something that's just done with its life, you need to recycle, or did you get a new one, maybe you want to donate it? Just done with its life. Okay. So there's these handy filters up here. So we always try to, at first it'll show all of them. The hazardous waste centers are usually at the top, but if we go to recycle, it'll show all the options. We try to add stuff like whether or not they have pickup services, whether it's going to be a free recycling program or you might have to pay. Of course, we always encourage that you look at the actual website to get more details and contact the center itself for more information. But we try to keep it as updated as we can. So for instance, a broken computer, one of my favorites to recommend is this group, Computers to San Diego Kids, where they do e-waste and they will refurbish computers and give them out to people at very low cost, which is awesome. Does anybody else have something that they're not sure where to take right now? Tree clippings. Let's see. So for something like that, And are you also in the city of El Cajon? Your city, okay. So it looks like if you don't have yard waste specifically, you could go to one of these locations that are listed here. There's also this one here, the yard waste collection, that you could click on and contact directly your city and see if that was something that they had available to you as an option to get at your home. And then before I go, just one last thing that I would like to highlight is this resources tab. This is something that we're always adding new stuff to. This is a resource that I just added this week, where to buy bulk in San Diego. So whether it's food, cosmetics, pet food even, that's a really cool resource. And there's all sorts of other stuff, like what compost bin is best for me, and just all sorts of really cool stuff. So I encourage you to take a look at it. I've got some magnets I'm going to hand out to people. And thank you all so much for having me here today. Go El Cajon.
Natalia. Bob has a question for you.
Yes, a lot of people just throw their flashlight batteries in the trash. What do you suggest for those?
So batteries. I know off the top of my head that some of the county libraries take them. Of course, the El Cajon Household Hazardous Waste Facility as well. But I would like to urge everybody to not throw their flashlight batteries into the recycling or the trash. It's actually the #1 cause of fires in those facilities, and a lot of people actually really get hurt from the fires caused from your household batteries ending up in the trash.
And you can give your items to the city clerk, and she'll pass them out to us.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. All right. Next, we have a proclamation from National Preparedness Month, and I'd like to invite Chief Chasen and Andy Meckler, Heartland's Emergency Preparedness Coordinator, and they have a PowerPoint for us. Chief, thank you for coming.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Council.
Hello, Mr. Meckler. Welcome.
I guess we'll do the proclamation first?
Yes.
Okay. This is a proclamation for a National Preparedness Month for September 2018. Whereas National Preparedness Month creates an opportunity for every resident of the city of El Cajon to prepare their homes, businesses, and communities for any type of emergency, including natural disasters and potential terrorist attacks. The loss of life and property damage can be greatly reduced if appropriate emergency preparedness measures are taken before, during, and after a major emergency. And whereas El Cajon residents have experienced the effects of various disasters in the past, including devastating wildland fires, severe storms, and drought as an effect of climate change resulting in loss of life and damages costing millions of dollars. Southern California is experiencing prolonged drought and extreme fire conditions that highlight the importance of disaster preparedness both at the individual and institutional levels. And whereas the aftermath of 2003, 2007, and 2014 firestorms in San Diego County demonstrated the necessity for careful and thorough emergency planning and preparedness among individuals, communities, and agencies locally. And whereas all residents of the city of El Cajon are encouraged to participate in citizen preparedness activities and asked to review the READY campaign's website at www.ready.gov or on the Heartland Fire website at heartlandfire.org and become more prepared. Therefore, Bill Wells, Mayor for the City of El Cajon, together with the City Council, to hereby proclaim the month of September 2018 to be National Preparedness Month in the City of El Cajon. We urge all residents and businesses to develop their own emergency preparedness plan and to work together toward creating a more prepared society. Signed this 11th day of September 2018.
Thank you, Monica. Chief?
Mr. Mayor, Honorable Council, City staff, thank you very much for this proclamation. It's altogether fitting on this date in American history to make this Preparedness Month. And I think it's very understandable that we think of national emergencies on a day like today. But it's important to step back and realize that something as seemingly small as a house fire or a business fire can be a disaster for our local community members. So with that, I'm very excited to invite Heartland Fire and Rescue's Emergency Preparedness Coordinator, Andy McKellar. He's going to give us a brief presentation on being disaster prepared.
Thank you, Chief. Mr. Mayor, council members, city staff, thank you for allowing me the time for this presentation. As Chief Chasen said, we always think of the bigger picture things happening, the large-scale disasters. We saw it in Northern California. Everybody's watching Hurricane Florence heading for the East Coast, and we're all thinking of those things, and they are truly disasters. But there's localized stuff. A single-family fire is just as devastating to that family as a large-scale disaster is on a wider scope. So, how can you be prepared? There's kind of four things we want to focus on this month. Make and practice a disaster plan. Learn a life-saving skill of some sort. Check your insurance coverage. Is it up to date? And then save a little bit of money, squirrel some away for that emergency when it comes up. At the top 3 risks in our area. Of course, fire, we all knew that. Believe it or not, flooding is in there as well. And earthquakes, of course, are an ever-present danger. What can you do to help mitigate this stuff? These things from happening. Create a defensible space around your home. Install smoke and carbon detectors inside your home. Attach heavy objects to the wall like bookcases, water heaters, things like that. Stuff we've all heard before, but it never hurts to hear it again. Creating a disaster plan. Have an evacuation plan for your home with 2 ways out. Not just one, have 2. Have a meeting place outside the home for everyone to gather, a primary and a secondary, and a communications plan of some sort. If we get separated, how are we going to talk to each other? Have a focal point for contact outside the area, maybe a relative or a friend in another county or another state that you can call and everybody can check in there. That's a very simple way to do it. Another way to do that is to register your cell phone with Alert San Diego. It's a very simple process. You can go on the San Diego County Office of Emergency Services website and register your cell phone there, and you'll get an alert when something happens in your area. Include in your plan. Make sure you include pets in your plan. Fuel in your car. We always say this is have half a tank. Most people don't. They run it right down to the empty, but have half a tank at all times. If you've got to get out of here in a big hurry, you don't want to have to stop for gas on the way. The utility mains in your home, do you know where they are? You know where the electrical switch is, the main switch, and the gas, do you know how to shut it off? Once you shut it off, don't turn it back on again. Let a professional do that. And then practice your plan. You play the way you practice. It feels kind of silly at first, but go ahead and practice that. Disaster supply kit. We've talked about this many, many times, and I won't go through the whole list, but obviously food and water. Water being the primary. Make sure you've got enough water for everybody. That's a gallon of water per person per day, including your pets. Flashlight and batteries. Don't use candles. Please don't use candles. First aid kit. Know how to use that first aid kit. What's inside it, what's it for, and how do I actually apply the stuff inside the kit. Any miscellaneous items. Evacuation. Evacuation is always a big thing at the last moment. People usually grab stuff and go. Well, what things do you need to think about? You need to talk about or think about people and pets, papers, important documents, prescriptions. Do you have them with you? Do you need more? Did you forget this? What do you need to take with you? Pictures, irreplaceable items, and personal computers, because a lot of people store important documentation on that personal computer. So be sure you grab that on the way out the door. Life-saving skills. First aid CPR class. Take one of those. It doesn't just apply to big disasters. It can apply to everyday life. It can come in handy in the supermarket or the restaurant or again in a big disaster. Know how to shut off your gas and electricity. Find out how to mitigate the damage before or after an earthquake. We've talked about that a little bit. There's more information on the Heartland website. Learn how to prevent those electrical fires. Very simple stuff to do. Don't use frayed cords, and make sure that sockets are plugged in properly. Become a community emergency response team member. Our CERT team is growing, I'm happy to say, and we can teach you a lot of these skills in that training. Financial preparedness. This doesn't get talked about enough. Save a little bit each month. Get your insurance evaluated every year. If it's been a while since you've had your homeowner's insurance looked at, make sure it's up to date and that it covers your home for the proper amounts. Inventory your possessions. Take photos, do videotape, make sure that you have a visual inventory of what you have in your home. Additional living expenses. Is that part of your insurance policy? Store documents electronically. We talked about that. Put them on a computer or put them on a little flash drive you can put in your pocket and get out the door with. And have some emergency cash on hand in small denominations, not a lot, But I've seen it happen. If you need a gallon of water and you've got $20, you just bought yourself a $20 gallon of water. So you want to make sure you've got smaller denominations with you. Stay informed. Plenty of smartphone apps. Of course, they're free. FEMA has many. San Diego Emergency is a great localized app for your smartphone. And of course, the Red Cross, they have apps that are specific to certain types of disasters. All good information, all free. Social media, of course, Twitter, Facebook, good old-fashioned radio. If everything else fails, Kogo will keep going for somehow they do that, seemingly. That's a good way to get information as well, and that is the official station for emergency information in the county. Websites, ready.org, FEMA.gov, SD County Emergency, and then heartlandfire.org are all good sources of information on preparedness. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for a very informative presentation. We appreciate that. Thank you very much. Chief, anything else we need to talk about before you?
No, sir. I think we're good.
Give our best to all the folks at Heartland.
I'll do that.
Everybody's doing a great job. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Agenda changes. Staff, do you have any agenda changes?
Mr. Mayor, agenda item number 18 is being pulled from the agenda. East County Towing and Recovery has withdrawn their appeal, so there's no need for that agenda item.
All right.
Also, depending on how long public comment goes, there may be a need to move one of the closed session items in the middle of the agenda to accommodate legal counsel.
Will you just kind of keep me informed of that?
If there's a need, we'll let you know.
Thanks.
And Mr. Mayor, if I can make one announcement. We have a lot of folks in the audience today. It's important that we keep, as we talked about public safety, exits to the building free and clear. So if you're near the back, if you just be cognizant of that. So.
Thank you, sir. All right, council, any agenda changes? All right, I think we have to have a motion then to acknowledge that number 18 was being pulled. I'd like to make a motion to do so.
Second.
All right, please vote.
We're ready for your vote now.
All right, again, please vote.
I'm sorry, this doesn't seem to be working. If I can please take a verbal vote from all of you.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Motion carries by unanimous vote.
All right, that brings us now to consent items. Consent items are routine matters enacted by one motion according to the recommendation listed below. With the concurrence of the City Council, a council member or person in attendance may request discussion of a consent item at this time. Council members, do you wish to pull any of the consent items? Staff, do you wish to pull any of the consent items? Angela, do you have any speaker cards for consent items?
No, sir, no cards.
I'll make a motion then to approve the consent items.
Second.
Moved and seconded, please vote.
I apologize. We're still having problems. If I can please have a...
All in favor, say aye. And raise your hand. Aye. All opposed?
Motion carries by unanimous vote.
All right. We're now at public comment, but before we do this, Bob, do you want to acknowledge some of the guests we have in the chamber?
Yes, I understand we have a lot of Valhalla high school students. I'm sure you're all seniors, and all we want to know, you come down to the microphone in front where the speakers had been prior, and tell us your name and what you want to do after you get out of high school, whether you want to go to college or you're going to go to work or the Navy or whatever. So there's no exceptions. Everybody has to come. Your teacher's going to be watching this on television.
Why don't you all just line up behind the podium so we can get everybody in? And I know what you're thinking. I'm going to get out of this, but you won't. Bob will figure out that you didn't come up, and he'll make you come up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, young lady. You go pull the mic down and let's get it started.
Your name and what you want to do.
Hello. Whoa.
If we can all be quiet so we can hear her.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for that silence in the office right there. Well, my name is Quaylee Holmes, and when I graduate high school, I'm moving forward to be a cardiothoracic surgeon.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Hi, my name is Ashley Sizek, and when I want to go to college after this and get a degree in anatomy and become a surgical technician.
Wonderful.
Hi, I'm Ann Mason, and when I finish high school, I'm going to go to a community college and then become an optometrist.
Very good.
Hi.
Hi, my name's Nadi Dorothy, and after high school, I want to go to community college and get a degree in kinesiology and become a sports medicine and athletic trainer.
Okay.
Very good.
Hi, my name is Rosalina Fiscal, and I want to become a registered nurse.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Howdy. My name is Riley, and when I graduate, I'm going to go into working for the forestry department.
Very good.
My name's Olivia Doyle, and I'm going to the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Okay, my name is Emma Blood, and when I graduate, I want to go to Oregon State and major in veterinary science.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Curtis Sullivan. After high school, I'd like to go to a 4-year, then go to law school and become a lawyer.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Maddie Logston. I want to go to a 4-year and get a degree in medicine and go to like a PA.
Nice.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Miriam Hoyer, and I want to graduate from a 4-year university and become a cardiothoracic surgeon.
Okay.
Okay.
Move this up a little bit. Hi, I'm Thomas. After high school, I want to go into the Navy and become a corpsman.
All right.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Manny Pena, and when I graduate, I plan on joining the Army to serve my country.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ramon Owens, and to go to college, I want to either become a police officer or do track and field in the Olympics.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Quincy Lopez, and I want to go to the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Heim, and I would like to graduate from a 4-year college and become a kindergarten teacher.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Mazel Sabri, and I would like to go to college after high school and then become a psychologist.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Matthew Nemu, and I hope to one day get a degree in law and be a politician like you guys and fight for the people.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Valerie Lara. I'd like to go to a community college, then transfer to a 4-year, major in engineering, and minor in theater.
Hi, my name is Gilbert Ross, and I would like to be a special warfare combatant crewman in the U.S. Navy.
All right.
Hi, my name is Luna Ramirez, and after high school, I'm going into the Navy to be a corpsman and then to be a psychologist.
All right. All right, thank you all for coming.
I think that there's some people that didn't come up. Now, the ones that did, would you rat on them and make sure they come up now? Because it's 100%. Well,
here they come. Okay. Round 2.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, you'll all have to be quiet so we can hear.
Hi, my name's Natalie. I know that I want to go to college, but I don't know exactly what I want to do. Maybe real estate, and I want to have twins when I grow up, but I don't know if that's genetically possible.
Okay, good luck.
My name's Miley Yule, and I want to be a delivery nurse.
Nice.
Okay. My name's Antonio Wimler, and I plan on pursuing a career in medicine.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Samantha Fleming, and I want to be an art director for a fashion magazine.
All right.
Hi, my name is Chanel Owens, and I want to be a radiation therapist.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Delaney Stetler, and I want to major in business.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Dylan. I'd like to become an aerospace engineer.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Oscar, and I want to become an aerospace engineer.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Matthew, and I hope to get my degree and become an orthopedic surgeon.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Jade Hill, and I want to get a career in sports med.
Hi, my name's Samantha McGrawn, and I want to be a kindergarten teacher.
Nice.
Hi, my name's Gerardo Reza, and I'd like to major in aerospace engineer.
Okay.
My name is Akila Toller, and I want to major in business.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Artana Noel, and I'm planning on majoring in finance.
Hi, my name's Mariah Katugwa, and I want to be an elementary teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, pull it down a little bit.
Hi, my name is Rita Mansour, and I want to be a lawyer.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Miriam, and I want to be a high school teacher.
Nice. All right.
Okay. Now, students, is there anybody else that hasn't come up? Be sure and come on down. Your instructor's going to be watching this, and the students will have to rat them out in class. Remember, 7 o'clock tomorrow night on television on Channel 24, and you'll all be on there. And the ones that didn't come up, you'll have evidence that they didn't come up, and they'll have to come back to another city council meeting and do this all over again.
That's a pretty tough punishment. Okay, thank you very much, everybody, for coming. Graham, I noticed that we had a couple of psychologists and somebody who wants to be in politics, but nobody has to be a city manager. What's up with the whole city manager thing?
There wasn't, but there was an Orioles fan.
Yeah, okay.
That's a big deal to
me.
So
we'll give that to you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody. All right. Now we're at public comment. This time, any person may address a matter within the jurisdiction of the City Council and Housing Authority that is not on the agenda. Comments relating to items on today's agenda are to be taken at the time that the item is heard. State law prohibits discussion or action on items not on the agenda. However, City Council and Housing Authority members may briefly respond to statements or questions, and an item may be placed on a future agenda. Angela, do we have any cards under public comment?
I have 10 speakers right now, and the first one is Paul Cruz.
Hi, Paul. Welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Paul Cruz. I'm a contributing editor for East County Magazine. I was informed at the beginning of the proceedings today that I would not be able to take photographs of the speakers, and I was informed by Mr. Foley that I needed to get either your permission or Mr. Mitchell's permission to do so.
Mayor, just a point of correction. I indicated Mr. Cruz he cannot come within this area here to take his photographs. He's free to take photographs. But we certainly don't stifle.
East County Magazine is, the source of East County news and has been for over 10 years, and we need to be able to have our full coverage and everybody being able to be clearly seen who's going to be speaking today.
Where do you want to go, Mr. Cruz?
I want to be right there, as I have been for the past year and a half.
Mr. Mitchell, do you have any objections to that?
Mr. Mayor, our municipal code actually designates this area as a no area. So if the council were to direct, we could modify the municipal code, but... Okay.
But that would have to happen an agendized item.
Well, no, it actually requires your consent. So the code allows you to give consent to anybody to come before you, inside this area. So.
Well, I'm comfortable with that. Does anybody object to the concept? I don't know.
We don't need a motion. No.
Does anybody object? No. Apparently, no objection. So, thank you, Mr. Cruz.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Ben.
In the spirit of sticking to the policy and procedure, then I guess, Morgan, correct me if I'm wrong, should the speakers address the mayor and then also state their address of where they reside, as it states in the policy and procedure?
Yeah, the protocol is to at least direct your comments to the mayor as
Correct.
opposed to the people outside in the audience. So the speakers could direct your comments straight to the mayor and the city council. As for stating your address, we cannot enforce that because of privacy concerns. So we don't have to. They are not required under the Brown Act to state where their address, where they live.
Thank you.
And just to keep to decorum, if you could address your comments to me and not turn your back on the council and speak to the crowd, I'd appreciate that. Or please don't address the council members directly. You can direct me. I know it's a little bit formal, but good manners and policy keeps everything polite and moving forward. Thanks.
Next speaker, Larry LaHaye.
And Mr. LaHaye, welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm going to just take a few minutes of your time, please. This is a rerun. I have some material here that I'd love. Can I pass these? Can you pass these out? This is in regards to the property at 1201 Broadway, which is on the southeast corner of Broadway and Oro, 2 blocks west of 2nd Street. My office is on the southwest corner, so we're side by side. This property, couple of years ago, has been vacant for 5 years, and the homeless have been living there. And people come in. There's no electricity, there's no running water, there's no toilets. And a couple of years ago, there was at least 15 people that walked out of there in the morning, and I would go in there during the day and find what do they call it? Stuff for shooting up. It was awful. And this council, I appreciate you guys so much because you forced the owner to put a security gate around it and keep people out. And it worked. It was wonderful. Peace and quiet came back to our community until July. This last July, somebody, I can see the tire marks on the sidewalk, must have been doing 100 miles an hour and slammed into the security fence and just ripped it out. And now you look at the pictures, you can see what's happened to that building again. And it's back. I come in to work early in the morning, and there are people sleeping all over the place. And I can call the PD, code enforcement, which we've done many, many times. It gets tiring, and I feel badly taking up their time for this little issue that concerns me and the other merchants in the area. My office looks pretty. I'm just glad they didn't hit my building. But I'd like very much if you guys could do the same thing and put pressure on the owner and get him to replace that fence. Get it back up again. We've called him a couple of times, and he ignores us. I think he's tired of us now. And I can see why, but I need your help.
Certainly. Let me see if there's any questions. Council, any questions? Ben?
I remember you reminded me earlier today, I talked to your wife on the phone about this, and I think I talked to the property owner adjacent. He's the same guy who was the doctor, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
You did.
I think I still have his number.
We can be happy to give it to you if you'd like.
Yeah, you can send that over. I'd be happy to give him a call. Now, you said this damage occurred in July?
In July. It was on a weekend because I came into work on Monday and went, oh, wow, look at that. It was pretty bad. It still is. It hasn't changed since July.
And there are no security or surveillance cameras there to
No, there are not. There are just skid marks on the side, across the sidewalk and across the yard, and now there's graffiti and trash and furniture. And
yeah, I mean, if you don't get anywhere, you can forward the contact information. I might still have it, but if you don't get anywhere else, let me know.
I believe you ramrodded this thing last time, and please help us again.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bob? Is there anything we can do, staff, and make sure that this owner gets that fence back up again? We can put safety and health requirements on there that are not being met, and start a process of fining him and civil penalties and all that.
Well, we jotted this down. We'll take code enforcement action on it.
Okay.
They're required to maintain their property in a way that isn't a nuisance, which this has become. So we'll handle that.
So how long will this take?
Well, if we provide notice, they are given due process opportunity to correct it, but we should have it hopefully fixed within the next 30 days.
Okay. Faster if we can.
I will send that information over to you again. Good. You all appreciate your service to the community, and God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, sir.
Truman Bradley.
Mr. Bradley, welcome.
Thank you, sir. My name is Truman Bradley, and when I graduate high school, I would like to live in my parents' basement. I have a few words I'd like to say to Ben. First off, Ben, I'm a big fan of your act. It took me some time to figure out what a big role you serve for the city of El Cajon. It was clear from the beginning that you had no intentions of being the hero. Nope, that's not your style. I mean, what kind of hero uses a beauty pageant to take advantage of vulnerable young girls? So I figured you were the villain. It kind of makes sense because you've been convicted of criminal fraud. In fact, you admitted it. You had a brief stint in jail. You even have the tacky James Bond villain home decor. But something didn't add up. You're evil enough, but clearly too incompetent to be a first-class villain. You're getting sued constantly, and you keep losing in court. Then it dawned on me, only a narcissistic sociopath, which I thought was an original line of dialogue, isn't, because several others last meeting said the same thing, would allow himself to suffer a constant stream of abuse and revulsion. You're not going to have a good time in prison, my friend, but your cellmate Bubba's going to have a great time. In fact, he's already signed up for the Lube of the Month Club. And as Bubba's sweat splashes onto your back, remember, you tried to do the same thing to the citizens of El Cajon that Bubba's doing to you. Thank you.
Sunshine Horton.
Hi, Sunshine.
Good afternoon, Mayor and council members and staff. I'm here because I want to say something that has been in my heart, and I hope that all these young people learning will learn something. I got to give an example first. When my kids were little, I had to get welfare. Oh, my God. These people is giving me all this money. They don't want nothing. And I feel like this is not right. So what I did while I was getting that money, I would get up in the morning, dress my kids with clothes, get all dressed up, and go to the school, which it doesn't exist, Valentine. And I would say hi to the principal and that, put my kids in class, and I would go to the back room with all the teachers, did their thing. Hey, Sunshine, cut this, sort this, print this, everything they were asking me. And I was so fulfilled that I was doing something for the money that was given to me. So I told everybody that I work at school because I went every time the kids went to school. So that made me very happy. And to me, that is self-respect. Because I didn't want to do it and sit or be smoking or whatever. So I learned a lot about self-respect in my days that I didn't have no money. So I'm here to talk to somebody that I've been talking to, but I ran out of things how to say. The one thing that I know that him and his wife need to learn to get ahead in this world is self-respect. I don't think they know what it is. I can get the definition over the phone if I'm allowed to, because they don't know what it is. Self-respect is when I didn't have money at that school, I was on welfare, and yet the principal came and grabbed me from my house and took me to the school because they were doing a luncheon. Heaven forbid in Mexico, poor people would be honored like that. So I felt so, God, I didn't know what to do. They did a big luncheon for me and everything, but it was something to do with self-respect. That is the thing that can get you far, being honoring yourself, self-respect, and all that. Wait, hold on. I'm going to do it.
Sunshine.
Definition of self-respect.
Here's the definition of self-respect. Pride and confidence in oneself, a feeling that one is behaving with honor and dignity.
So there, I do everything that I do, honor and dignity, and I've done a lot of things even when I had be on welfare. I always look for the other person. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sunshine.
Thank you.
Phil Ortiz.
Are we okay with our timer here? It looks like it's...
No, I think we're having problems with it, so if it goes over the 3 minutes, I'll have to catch your attention.
Yeah, please. Okay, thank you. Just to warn everybody, our timer's not working correctly, so you may not get the yellow and light and warning, but we'll let you know when your 3 minutes is up. Thanks. Go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, my name's Phil Ortiz. I'm an El Cajon resident, and I've lived in East County almost my entire life. I'm Mr. Mayor, City Councilman, City staff. Thank you for this time to speak and for your service to our community and our country. I'm here again to address the actions of Ben Colascio and ask you to resign immediately. I find it remarkable that as an elected official, Ben thinks he can act in the ways that he is. Men like Ben Colascio, who take advantage and exploit women, are the exact scenarios and people I fought against for years. When I was in college, I helped found an organization called, when I was in college at San Diego State, I helped found an organization called Frat Manners, and that's an acronym that stands for Fraternity Men Against Negative Environments and Rape Situations. I educated, spoke, and consulted to fraternities, athletic teams, and other various organizations about preventing sexual assault of women, defining what consent is, and reducing the chances of men taking advantage of women for colleges all across California. Never did I expect the very environment I was seeking to change would be coming from my local elected official. It is the job of men like those in Frat Manners to amplify women's voices and standing against men like Ben Colascio. And I'm going to ask a question directly to you from one of my presentations in college. How would you feel if a man larger and stronger than you acted the same way you did towards those women in your pageant? I can answer that question for you. You'd feel taken advantage of. Another point, you don't have respect for our laws. The judge in your current court case threatened to put you in custody and called your actions a disgrace for not complying with court orders. You were held in contempt of court multiple times. All this while you're still on probation. As an elected official, Mr. Colascio, you need to act in a way that is above reproach. But as of now, Ben Colascio is acting no different than a common criminal. Ben Colascio, he needs to take responsibility for your actions, apologize to the people you've wronged, and resign immediately. Today's September 11th. And as Americans, we remember how fragile and short life can be. And it moves us to become better people. And that's what we're asking Ben Colascio to do. We're asking you to be a better person. And if there's one thing you have accomplished, in a time where our country is extremely divided, you've managed to bring together liberals and conservatives, Republicans and Democrats, all to oppose you. And I am proud of my city for unifying against your reprehensible actions. It's proof that El Cajon is an amazing city with incredible people who will stand against actions like yours. Thank you for your time.
Nathan Cornett.
Good afternoon. My name is Nathan Cornett, East County resident. I am here to speak about an ongoing issue concerning the behavior of Ben Colascio in our city. Recently, in the midst of his own political strife, not finding a political party in San Diego that would work with him, he attempted to register as a Federalist, a defunct political party since the early 1800s. James Madison was a Federalist, and he's quoted as saying, "The truth is that all men having power ought to be mistrusted." I look upon all political incumbents with this sort of eye, and he has given us ample reason to be distrusted. There's a long list of unethical and legal entanglements in which Ben has become embattled. You can find all of these with a simple Google search, and I recommend all of you to search Ben Colascio on Google. Disturbing accusations and behaviors are not difficult to find. Sexual predator-type behavior, cropping the head of innocent participants of his Miss Middle East beauty pageant on the bodies of nude women and then posting them on fake social media accounts, asking for sex from a contestant in exchange for the crown, spreading false rumors about a woman engaged in a sex act in public just to defame her character, real estate filings, false real estate filings to hide assets. Currently, he's on probation for criminal workers' compensation fraud, creating false polls used to defame local businesses that would not support him in his campaign in 2016, blocking constituents, treating the legal system like a joke or a game, not appearing for required court appearances, not providing documentation required by the judge. The recent UT article on August 31st reports on Judge Timothy Taylor's responses to Mr. Colascio. How would you like to spend the weekend in custody, Judge Taylor tells him. I'm going to have you placed in custody if you don't quit fooling around. The judge also reminded Colascio that he is an elected official who should set a better example for his constituents. This is a disgrace, Judge Taylor said. Sir, you are a public elected official, and you're treating this like a game. I would like to ask three things. First, I would like to ask you, Ben, to step down and resign your position as the El Cajon City Council. Second, I would ask the El Cajon City staff and council to be wary of this man's behavior, to view it as a potential liability for our city, the potential costs that it might cost our city as a result of his behaviors. And lastly, I would ask the voters to Google Ben Colascio. Research for yourself the facts before you vote. Read the court documents. Thank you.
Lou Tejeda.
Hello, sir. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, elected officials, and staff. I'm here as an executive member for the El Cajon Recreation Council, and thank you guys for your guys' contribution to supporting youth sports. We represent all the kids who play youth sports, organized sports in the Valley, and I'm sure a lot of these kids from Valhalla behind me were beneficiaries of your guys' generosity. I'd also like to thank you guys' staff from Park and Recs, in particular Frank, Carson, and Julie Alon. They're working hand in hand with us on a regular basis. And if you haven't put it on your calendar yet, remember there's a golf tournament on Friday, a fundraiser for the All for Rec tournament. So with that, I'd like to just say thank you again. Have a good day.
Thank you for all your work.
Jim Sirigliano.
Hello, sir. Welcome.
City Council, staff. First of all, real quickly, Mr. DiMaggio, I didn't get a chance to recognize you last time, but I'm looking forward to working with you and City Manager Graham. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Quick update about our request for rent mediation. The last time I was here on August the 14th, I said we'd be doing a pre-mediation with the mediator through the American Arbitration Association. It didn't happen because they couldn't reach the other party. This is costing the city money, by the way. Okay. And then we tried again on August 31st, where after about a 10-minute search, they did reply. Moving on, by the 17th of this month, all the requests have to be in, okay, to the mediator on both sides of the party. And then again on the 24th, we will actually set up the mediation date. Okay, so that's a quick update of what's going on with the rent mediation. One thing I want to talk about real quickly here, and that is, since I've been coming to these meetings, I've watched a lot of good people come up here to this city council and speak about some very important issues. Men like Bonnie Price, myself, David Chenoweth, and nothing gets said about these important issues. I don't want to go too much more into that there. About Mr. Colascio. Mr. Colascio just recently came to one of our meetings on the 15th of last month. He did come to a meeting along with mayoral candidate Joel Scalzetti, who I personally am supporting, Mr. Mayor, and also Mr. Kendrick, I am going to support Mr. Colascio. Okay, and if you want to know why, I'd be glad to explain, give you a few examples why I'm doing this here. Like I said, this is a time thing here. I can't talk too much. You know, when in 1964 and 65, when Martin Luther King, you know, we passed two great monumental legislative things there. And he said, from going on from this point, we can either have chaos or community, which I personally call collective community. And I don't see much of that collective community coming to these city council meetings. I see a lot of chaos. And this is not a personal attack on anyone. This is how I honestly feel about what I'm seeing. And about those forms again, 700 and 460, I still feel that they should be put on the council's webpage for true transparency. I'm going to be getting them, hopefully here in the near future, through this city clerk. And if I have to come up here and quote from them, I will, because it's a little difficult for people to go and get this information. A lot of people don't even know about it. But I personally know about it, and I will be getting those copies towards the end of this month, once everyone has declared. Okay, and excuse me. Just closing that again, like I always do. I always say that seniors vote. Okay, and also not leaving out these young people that are here when they become of age, because they're a lot smarter, a lot sharper, and they're not only questioning about what they're doing in the future about themselves. Many of them are caring about who they are right now and how it affects them now, which is probably just as important about their future. Now, if anyone on the city council staff wants to ask me any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Our timer isn't working. I guess your time has gone by.
That's kind of nice, isn't it?
Worked out in your favor this time.
Okay,
so
all right. Thank you so much.
Bonnie Price.
Hello.
Hi, Bonnie. Welcome.
Bonnie Price here. Members of council and mayor. I'm here in support of the group from the Villanueva Manufactured Home Park again. And today we have a lot of people here who do not understand what's going on because some of them have not come here before. What has happened is these people are facing an annual rent increase for the land on which their homes sit of 5% compounded annually. Some of them have 20-year contracts. Many of the people who reside in this park are senior women. When they were young, they could not work for jobs that gave them decent pay. They're living on Social Security, which is lower for older women than it is for men. Therefore, when their annual rent increase comes, it's likely that they will fall behind in their rent payment because their Social Security goes up 2%, not compounded annually, while their rent goes up 5% compounded annually. Therefore, many women are subject to being homeless because a lien is put on their property. And the lien is put on their property, they cannot sell it, and they have to walk away. This is a terrible moral situation that you can do something about. You do not want to create more homeless people. And these people deserve to get the benefits out of their home. When their home has a lien on it, they cannot sell it, and the owners of the land get to own that home that they paid for and rent it out, and those who lost their property get nothing, absolutely nothing. So these people have taken leadership to use a mediation process, but it's going very slowly. And you have the American Arbitration Association doing the work. They're highly reputed. I'm sure they'd like to hurry the process, and you would, because it reduces your costs. But there has to be some way of making this process move faster. And Jim was referring to some forms. People don't necessarily know what those forms are. Those are the expenditure forms of who makes contributions to your campaign, mayor and council member. So this is a moral issue. Do what you can to help these people keep their homes. Speed up the process. Thank you.
Brenda Hammond.
Hello, Ms. Hammond. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, Graham. Mr. Mitchell. First of all, I wanted to thank you for the concerts. Oh, they're so much fun. And Mom, don't get mad at me, but my 82-year-old mother is out there dancing after she gets off work. Work. So all over East County, but it's a lot of fun. So having said that, reunification doesn't happen in all people's lives. How can some people think that they can fix other people's lives when they don't even know the true details? Maybe some people should pay more attention to their own lives and get out of other people's business. Because most of the time they're only trying to reunite others for their own selfish reasons of being in control. Don't get me wrong, I believe in reunification, that it can work, but only when it's supposed to and not when it's forced by some group for their political and especially religious reasons. And that's when it becomes power and a money grab. In that order of political and religion. And since I have the time, anyone in that big brown building over there listening, not your building, but the courthouse, they need to stop messing with people. I've seen it. To create more programs, especially anger management programs. Thank you. Have a good night.
We have 4 more speakers, and the next one is Christine Costa.
Hi, Christine. Welcome.
Hi, Honorable Mayor, council members, city staff. In the spirit of recycling and to lead off of or take away from I Love a Clean San Diego, I just wanted to make a public comment and remind the residents about our El Cajon drop-off location. Located at 925 O'Connor, just off Johnson Avenue, residents can utilize our transfer station to dispose of batteries, bulbs, sharps, e-waste, mattresses, used oil, and oil filters. You can do that Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. No appointment necessary. Just come on over. We'll take it from you. We also offer a household hazardous waste drop-off event, and that's on the 2nd and 4th Saturday of every month. It does require an appointment. You can simply call our call center, 619-596-5100 to schedule an appointment. And the residents can bring 15 gallons or 125 pounds of HHW over free of charge. We also offer a recycling buyback center where residents can bring their CRV, their cardboard, steel, paper, anything like that, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2. And after the holidays, keep us in mind because we'll take your Christmas trees from you as well, free of tinsel, ornaments, and stands, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. And if you guys want to schedule an appointment or need more information, www.wm.com or 619-596-5100. Thanks.
I think Bob has a question.
Yeah, Christine, you didn't mention about large items that people want to set out on. Since if they live in the city of El Cajon, they can set out on their curb, call before their regular trash day.
Correct.
And you will send a special truck to pick up large items like televisions or water heaters or mattresses or whatever. I've used that several times.
Yeah,
and
correct.
It works very well. So, but a lot of people don't know about that.
So 4 times a year, residents can schedule a bulk item pickup free of charge for any household good, appliances, mattresses, anything like that. 4 times a year, up to 6 items, completely free. Just need to make an appointment before your next service day.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Christine.
Lynn Powell Macklin.
Well, welcome.
I was here last time. My name's Lynn Powell Macklin. I am a resident of El Cajon. I've been living here just under a year now. I was in Lakeside for 25 years. This is only my second council meeting, and I came here today for the same reason I was here last time, and that is to ask this council to do whatever you can to censure or eliminate Ben Calasho. He's brought enough shame on our city, and, I'm a Democrat. I'm a proud progressive Democrat, and what that means to me is that we hold our elected officials accountable. And when a slime ball gets under the radar, we don't turn our backs and double down and pretend like we voted the right person in. We know when somebody has gotten through under our radar. And I'm glad you jumped ship. The party was never going to endorse you this time around, and this makes it much easier. One of the things that really bothers me is that there's a very small Dem club in East County that kind of sponsored Ben last time around. And because of his antics, they came this close to losing their charter. And this is a club that's been around for a really long time with some really wonderful people that I consider my friends. And you bamboozled them. And the rest of us aren't going to let you get away with it. We will be here as long as you're here to call on you to quit. All right? I was kind of hoping you wouldn't show up today and you would ghost us like you did the last couple of times, because I know sooner or later, if you continue to call in sick, you've got to get fired. But, whatever. Well, I'll be here as long as you're here, Mr. Calasho, and you're not a Democrat. You don't represent us. You don't represent the citizens of El Cajon. You don't even represent your own people. And then one other thing that I wanted to mention before I sit down is, like I said, last time was the first time that I've been here, and there was a woman who came up, a kind of loony white lady, and she made a really blatant racist comment, and not one person on this council called her on it. It was just a really blatant racist comment about African Americans, and nobody here said a thing, and that was just astonishing to me. So, I don't know. I'm a resident. I vote. I'll be back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark Lane.
Mr. Lane, welcome.
Hey, distinguished mayor, distinguished council members, and Ben Calasho. I wasn't going to speak today because I'm not feeling good, so I probably won't have the same energy I typically have, but a couple of things happened while I was standing out there. I was fascinated watching all these young people come up and talk about their goals and their dreams, and it's impressive. And all I could keep thinking was, we have a sexual predator up on the dais. And what is he thinking while we're all applauding them? I don't know why you asked the city attorney if people should state their address where they live, except for the fact that you don't have the spinal fortitude to take what's coming to you. I'm going to give you civics lessons because you're a little slow in that, apparently, trying to join the Federalist Party. I'm also going to give you a geography lesson. El Cajon, California is in the United States of America. United States of America, and here comes the civics, Ben, is bound by the Constitution. The first right on the Constitution, and the one they thought was so important, they made it number one, is freedom of speech. means anybody from anywhere in this country can come to this council and call you out for being the dirtbag you are. They can come from Maine, they can come from Florida, they can come from anywhere. You can try and dodge, you can try and hide, but you can't. The Constitution's going to chase you down, brother. And we're going to all be here, and we're going to make sure you're gone. Again, asking for you guys, I know all you can do is censure him, asking you to bring it up and at least discuss it. I wonder, Ben, did you ask all the women that you harassed and took advantage of their home addresses? Serious question, since it seems to be something important to you, Ben.
Mr. Lane, just in keeping with what I had said earlier, if you could address your comments to me, I would appreciate it.
Fine. So I'll look at you and talk about Ben.
Just keep the quorum. Thank you.
You know, Ben's trying to dodge the law, not showing up to court, trying to dodge lawsuits that are getting served on him. He doesn't have the spinal fortitude to accept criticism. He doesn't understand freedom of speech. That's why he blocked me on Facebook, because he can't take criticism for stuff he does. He likes to do it, but he can't take the criticism. Mr. Mayor, we're going to keep coming until Ben's gone. We're going to keep asking you to censure him, and we're going to keep the law on him as well.
Okay, Mr. Lane.
Two more speakers, and the next one is Killian Collin.
Mr. Collin, welcome.
Thank you so much. My name is Killian, and I'm a resident of El Cajon City. I realize that Mr. Kalasha always do the opposite thing when people ask him to do. So today I'm going to tell him something that please don't resign, please stay. You're awesome. Hopefully you will do the opposite thing because you love these things. So have some dignity, man. Seriously, if that many people speak like that every Tuesday, every month against me, I would disappear. I would really just disappear from public life. But I'm telling you, don't disappear. Please stay. Please don't resign. You're awesome. You're not a sexual predator. And, run again, and people will vote for you. Hopefully, you will not listen to me. Well, actually, hopefully you will listen to me, because I know you will not. Thanks a lot.
Two more speakers. Chris Lieber.
Pastor Leeper, hi, welcome.
Thank you. I just want to share a few scriptures regarding Ben Kalasho. In Isaiah chapter 1, verses 18 through 20, it says this, "Come now, let us reason together, says the Lord. Though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be white as snow. Though they are red like crimson, they shall be like wool." Now, most Christians celebrate this verse, but there's more to it. "If you are willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land, but if you refuse and rebel, you shall be eaten by the sword, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken." Most of the time, Christians are seen with the face of love. But Jesus has more faces than just love. He's also just and righteous. And he defends those that he loves. And he especially defends the children and the young ones. And I want to personally repent for any involvement in allowing Ben Kalasho to be on this council. Whether it was lethargy, whether it was slack, or any responsibility on my part and for the city, I want to repent for that. Because it's our fault. But we also desire that things change from here. I do not believe this is pleasing to the Lord. And I believe that the Lord wants things to change, but it's going to take all of us to rise up. And it's true, we're not going to stop. And our God is bigger than yours. Thank you.
James Elia.
Hi, James. Welcome.
How's it going, Mayor? Council members? I want to tell you guys a little story. About 2 years ago, I decided I wanted to serve my community and get involved locally at the political level and community level. And I am a Democrat, and so naturally I said I would, see if there's any local clubs or something like that, and there was. I got into, I wouldn't even call it confrontation. I just disagreed with something that Ben Cajon put on Facebook with his Big Five plan that he never did anything with when he got elected, like he said he would anyways. And I said I didn't agree with him saying we couldn't have refugees in the city of El Cajon. That was enough to get blocked and then have my name tarnished within that club from him. He was so vindictive because I just disagreed with him. I didn't even know the guy because I disagreed with him. He instructed the people in this club to remove me, have me kicked out, and rob me of my right to participate in democracy from a simple disagreement on Facebook. That shows you the kind of character that he has. Ben, you need help, man. You need Jesus, you need medication, you need something. But you need help. Like, honestly, it's beyond the point. Yeah, we don't get along, but dude, like, I'm just concerned. I'm really concerned for you, man. I really am. It hurts me to see fellow Chaldeans spiral like this. I'm just telling you, man, for your own good, it might be best if you just step down, work on yourself, work on your family, and come back later on and do something else, have a reality show or something like that. I do want to remind you that was a lawsuit that you were just served, so you have been served because you wouldn't take it and you wouldn't acknowledge it, but it was there, so that's been served. But, hey, man, do something for yourself. I mean, at the very least, if you don't care about the community, you don't care about any of that, do something for yourself. You can still redeem yourself. You can still make things better. Own up to what you've done. Start a new leaf and move on. That's the best thing that I can say. Also, really great to see all the high school students here. Shout out to all you guys for those aspirations. I'll be supporting Mayor Bill Wells for his re-election because I heard someone saying that they were supporting Scalzetti. And anybody who's affiliated with Ben, that's enough for me to know that's not somebody that I should be supporting anyway. So not to get too political, I just want to throw that out there. Thank you so much for the time. Everyone have a nice one.
Is that the end of public
that
comment?
concludes public comments. We would actually recommend that we run in a closed session for that one item this time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to closed session for an item due to scheduling conflicts. We shouldn't be very long. I would expect about 5 minutes. At that point, we'll come back and continue on with the city council meeting. Thank you very much. If I ask the attorney to lead us to the closed session.
Thank you, Mayor. We're going to have the City Council adjourn into closed session for a conference with legal counsel for existing litigation pursuant to paragraph 1 of subdivision D of Government Code section 54956.9. The case name is Christine Greer versus the City of El Cajon.
Move to closed session.
All right, make a motion to move to closed session.
Second.
Moves and second. Please vote. All in favor, say aye.
Motion carries by unanimous vote.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would all take a seat, we're going to continue on with the council meeting. All right, we are finished with public comment, and we are now at written communications, and there are no written communications on today's agenda. Item 17 is a public hearing for a vacation of a sewer easement, and I will ask staff to tell us about this. Dirk, you're going to make this exciting?
Isn't it always?
Yes, with you, I had trouble sleeping last night because I knew you were going to be up talking about this vacation of a sewer easement. So,
Mr. Mayor, rest easy. Never fear, we are here to help. This sewer vacation is part of the cleanup process of the Johnson Avenue sewer project. This is the hearing on that particular item. There were some easements that were there, and after we vacated many of the sewer laterals and redid them with brand new ones in new places, there were new easements that were dedicated to the city, and this is the cleanup process after the whole project's been completed. And so this is just the formality portion of that allows us to vacate those as per our agreement with the mall.
All right. Council,
Thank
any
you.
questions for Dirk? All right. Are any speaker cards for this item?
No card, sir.
All right. Then I have to go through the process of making a motion to close the public hearing. Second. Moved and seconded. Please vote. Nicely done.
Motion carries by unanimous vote.
All right. Would somebody like to make a motion then?
Adopt the next resolution in order to vacate the sewer easements.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote.
Item 18 is an appeal for denial of a special operation license for 1416 Holdings Incorporated. I'll ask staff to tell us about this.
Mayor, this is the item that was removed from the calendar earlier during agenda changes.
My apologies. Item 19 is a report on dockless bicycles. And staff, would you please tell us about this?
Certainly, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. On July 24th, the City Council asked staff to come back with an agenda item addressing the proliferation of dockless bikes or bike share bicycles in the city of El Cajon. Go to the next slide. The purpose of this agenda item is to do just that. The staff report will provide some background information, or does provide background information, also provides some information about how other cities are regulating this new enterprise. And then the report includes several recommendations. And I'll just review some of the salient points of the staff report. If we can go to the next slide. In El Cajon, traditionally, since sort of the emergence of bike share programs in San Diego County, there's really been three companies. Lime Bike, which is shown as the green bicycle, OFO, which is the yellow bike, and then Mobike, which is the red and silver bike. Right now, Mobike is really isolated towards downtown San Diego. In fact, they have it's called a geofence, so we don't see as many of those bikes in the community as we did initially. But clearly, Lime Bike and OFO are two bikes that we see prevalent in the city. Go to the next slide. This is sort of an image that shows how bike sharing companies portray sort of the image of what this program should look like. And staff actually believes that this image is certainly a realistic goal. Next slide, though. But however, what we've seen in our communities throughout driving around San Diego is something a little bit more like this. And several of these photos were actually taken from the city or San Diego County. We see that bikes are left haphazardly all around the community because without lack of ownership, there's really lack of a need to take care of these bicycles. Next slide. And worse, we fear that what could happen. Luckily, we've never seen this in El Cajon, but certainly this is something that is the concern, especially given some of the changing demographics or the nuances of the bike industry. Hearing reports that OFO isn't interested in picking up bikes anymore because the cost is so low, it's just easy to throw it away. Next slide. So in terms of El Cajon, as of this morning, we did a count. We found 25 bikes throughout the city of El Cajon. 3 of those bicycles were enabled, meaning the GPS device was intact and it was lockable, and you could use an app to ride it. We found 22 bicycles that were disabled, meaning either the GPS device was disabled and the lock was removed and it was being used in an illegal fashion or had been hijacked. We find that this is typically the type of use that we see around the community. There are clearly folks, in my observation and staff's observation, that are using these bicycles as a commuting tool. It is a last mile tool to get from a home or a business to the trolley station or a bus station, and has a legitimate use. However, we see far more of them that are disabled or more increasingly discarded. And even today we found bicycles without tires, One bicycle was being carved up to become the structure of a tent or a housing structure. So these bicycles are being used for other purposes besides transportation. We also have a little bit of a demand of staff time right now. It's not tremendous. We do some proactive staffing with code enforcement. So if we see a bike blocking the right-of-way, we'll put that into code enforcement. Public Works receives 5 to 6 calls per week with a complaint someone indicating that a bicycle is blocking a walkway or in front of a business or is blocking an ADA handicap ramp. So next slide. One of the things that staff did is we looked at different policies being implemented not only around the county but around the United States. As you know, Coronado's received a lot of attention because of its bike program. They have a policy or a program in which if a bike shows up in Coronado, there's 2 hours to retrieve the bike, and if the bike's not retrieved, it's confiscated, it's held in impoundment, and there's a fee to release it. The North County coastal cities, Del Mar to Oceanside, is currently looking at a collaborative approach where they would they're working on more of an RFP that they would select one company to represent those communities. Each of those cities will have an independent contract with that one company, but there would be some uniformity and there would be some simplicity with one user amongst those cities. The city of Dallas has an interesting approach where they charge a company, let's say Lime Bike, they would be charged an $800 fee to enter into the city, and then they charge $21 per bicycle. Seattle has a similar program, and they also have a program where there's an app through the city of Seattle. If you see a bicycle that's within 6 feet of a sidewalk or a non-designated area, that company has 2 hours to fix the problem. If they don't, there's a fine associated with that. Chicago has a similar program to that of Dallas where they charge $250 to enter into the market and then $50 per bike. Chicago has an incentive that if you include as part of your program an ability to lock your bike to a designated space, the city of Chicago will give you more bike capacity in the city. So it encourages good behavior. Because these bike share companies have the ability to incentivize their customers to good behavior. So if you were to park your bike in an appropriate place, you'd get a discount the next time you use bike X. So they have the ability to use the market to incentivize appropriate behavior. Next slide. So the staff report includes several thoughts, sort of big policy options. And the purpose of today isn't to necessarily adopt a policy, but it's to give staff some direction of where the council wants to go, if they want to go anywhere at all. One of those options that's presented in the staff report is that the council take no action, sort of wait and see how other cities deal with this. Staff believes, based on industry and based on bicycle advocates, that this is an increasing program, that there's going to be more of these. And I think by not doing anything for a long period of time is probably the wrong approach. If the council wanted to wait and see for a short period of time, that may make sense. But staff would not recommend that the council take a no-action approach for an extended period of time. The other approach is more of a city of Coronado approach. The city would give a bike that enters or is left behind. So it's not really making a bike illegal to come in the city. It's when they're left behind and not maintained. If the city were to find an unmaintained bike in the city, we would call whoever the bike company would be, and they would have 2 hours to pick it up. And if it's not picked up, we would charge a fine and we would impound the bicycle. Staff is worried that this could be a regulatory issue, that given what we're already learning from OFO Bike, that they're not interested in picking up bicycles, that we would just be back in the same place where we are today. The other option is we put out the option of a pilot program, a short-term program where we would offer any company a short-term lease agreement. Given the current market, there's probably only 1 or 2 of those companies that would be interested in entertaining that concept. It would allow the city, if we go to the next slide, it would allow the city to have some limits on the number of bicycles in the city. We could even limit scooters if that's something, or electric scooters if that's something we wanted to eliminate. We could establish rules and regulations. And as part of that, violation of those rules would include a fine as part of the lease agreement. And then one thing that we would appreciate is some data that they collect. These GPS devices become these enormous tools for looking at bicycle patterns and travel patterns. This is something that we could utilize as part of our traffic studies and as part of our bike plan. And then those companies that are not interested in participating, staff would recommend under this scenario that we take a more heavy-handed approach similar to that of Coronado. Last slide. Staff's here to answer any specific questions that you may have, and ultimately staff is seeking direction of where council would like to go with this, and we'll bring something back based on that direction.
All right, let's start with questions. Council, any questions? Ben?
I read the report, Graham, and it was pretty thorough. I have a question. I didn't see the answer in it. You mentioned, and just sticking to the statistics from El Cajon, about 3 bicycles enabled, 22 disabled. Is there a way that a company could know when the GPS has been disabled in real time, as opposed to, I think, because I don't think they don't have it right now where they know. Becomes a bike that is unserviceable, and then we see homeless people driving it, because I don't think they have that. Am I correct?
Mr. Shute and I met with some folks from Lion Bike about a year ago, actually, and I think you're right. I don't think they have the ability to know the instant that bike's GPS device has been modified. I could be wrong, but I know that they can see it on a map and identify if something goes missing or it stays in the same place. They know that.
Right. I think they base it off of an activity, and then they'll know based on where the GPS was thrown in a dumpster or whatever. Is it then safe to assume that it would be really hard to stop people from importing these in? So if somebody was like in San Diego and then they remove the GPS system and their buddy picks them up, puts it in their trunk, brings it here, utilizes it as whatever. I mean, it just seems like it's impossible to regulate unless it's confined to strategic docking places, with the fine being to the person who used it last. I'm a capitalist, so I don't want to fine the company because they had this model like you showed, like they had this perfect picture model of how it was supposed to be, and then and people are people. And so they're going to, do whatever it is. But I think even using the statistic for El Cajon, it's like 3 to 22. So it's safe to say that the 22 were homeless people that took it off, right? And then because I see them everywhere, that I see them being used by homeless people minus the GPS. So I think looking into how to make it in real time to know, hey, this thing is going on, because a geofence, because you can eliminate a geofence by picking up the bike and moving. I just don't see how we can really regulate it. I like the one company approach where they get contracts and they pay. What was the pay that they had to buy in? How much? If that's the route, what was it?
So in Seattle, it's $250 and then $50 per bike.
Oh, okay.
In Dallas, it's $800.
Yeah, that's a good model, as long as but making them dock, like when I go to Chicago and they have 5 years ago they were all docking in one place all online. Most people don't use them like that, and so that becomes a problem. People use them, like you were saying, the last mile. I think like 2 things. One is you limit it to one company and charge them, and if there's the opportunity to make money that way. But the fine, it appears to me, should go to the last person who used it, because if you're trying to kind of direct behavior, it's not the company. The company doesn't want the bike to be thrown in a tree. It would be the last person who used it, and if they get fined, they won't do it again. Anyway, that's my 2 cents, but it was a really good report.
Bob and then Steve.
Yeah, if you find the last person that used it, how does he know that somebody, a homeless guy, isn't going to pick it up, disable it, and then start using it? There's no way for the last person to know what's going to happen to that bike after he puts it in a responsible place, if he does.
Actually, they take a photo of it.
Yeah, well, the way it works is once you are finished using it, let's say you ride it to Parkway Plaza and you leave it on the sidewalk there, you would actually lock it. And once the bike is locked, then you are no longer in possession of the bicycle. Your charges turn off. So you would be the last to use it, but they could see where you docked it. Now, if it shows up 3 blocks somewhere else and you never re-engage, then they'll know that somebody illegally took that bicycle.
There's that, and also, Graham, sorry, Bob, but there's also a thing where they take a photo of it, like with what's that scooter, the black one?
The birds.
Yeah, you take a photo of where you left it, and that seems to be a good idea.
Bob, were you finished?
You could take a photo anywhere and say, this is the photo I took, and it could be anywhere. And then you could park it someplace else. So it wouldn't, I don't think that is a foolproof method. But I don't know the answer to this, but I think that I saw a couple kids driving them or riding them yesterday. I think they were on 2nd Street or something like that, and they obviously were probably disabled because the appearance was that they weren't somebody that would have a smartphone or anything like that. So they're all over, and I think it's a problem we're going to have to figure out what to do about. And maybe Coronado's got the right idea. In fact, I read in an article that they've informed their renters, don't go to Coronado. And if they do, well, then the renters get fined. So maybe that would be an answer. Don't go to El Cajon.
Steve, you were next.
Staff report said Lime Bike was responsive within 24 to 48 hours of complaints, and OFO was non-responsive. Of the 3 enabled and 22 disabled, do you happen to know the 22 disabled by brand?
If Mr. Richards is here, I didn't do the survey, so I don't know that, council member. Maybe Mr. Richards can come down. So generally, Mr. Richards, how many were of different brands that you saw today?
Yeah, all but one was yellow, so it's Opal, I believe, and then there was one scooter that was fully loaded with stuff.
And using the app, identified that there were the three enabled bikes were OFOs. There were no enabled bikes via the app on Lime Bike today, so in the city limits. So if there were any Lime bikes, they were disabled or not showing up on the app.
Well, to clarify, Dave said out of the 22, one was a Lime Bike, 21 was OFO.
No, one was a Bird, one of the scooters, the black scooters you can rent, and then the rest were all the yellow bikes.
Okay, so no Lime bikes, 1 Bird, 21 OFOs.
24.
24 OFOs.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Gary?
Well, it appears to me that at any given time, only 12% of those are being used legitimately, and 88% are not being used legitimately. And I see them strewn all over sidewalks and bushes, partially dismantled. And it's really an eyesore in our city. And they're strewn across a sidewalk, which would be very dangerous for someone that's disabled. And so I would be in favor of very strict regulations, probably looking at the Coronado.
Do you have another?
Yeah, is there a way to get maybe Bob knows this, the buses to not allow them to rack them on the buses to bring them to cities? Nope. Morgan's shaking his head. Thanks.
No. So, staff, I think you've got the sense of the direction of the council. Do you want a more formalized direction, or can you take it from here?
I think that's helpful.
Okay. Well, so I suggest then that we pass this to staff, wait to see what they come back with, and we can make a final decision Probably at the next council meeting?
It probably won't be the next meeting. It'll probably be in 2 meetings from now.
Okay, great.
Mayor?
But we have to.
Mayor?
Yeah, we have to go through the process. So I knew I was going to get in trouble there. So, Angela, do we have any speaker cards for this?
We have one speaker, Paul Hassan, or I'm sorry, Andy Hassan.
Hi, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Andy Hanshaw, Executive Director with the San Diego County Bicycle Coalition. I just kind of wanted to applaud your proactive approach on this, and the staff report was very thorough, very detailed, and unlike a lot of where dockless bikes has sort of just happened naturally. You're doing your homework, you're looking into it, and it's a smart move. So I commend the city for that. We actually consulted a little bit on the report as well, and we've all learned a lot in the last 6 months. It's not perfect anywhere, but I do think it's clear that ridership is certainly spiked. People are using them. It would be very helpful to have that data. Access is one of the points that you brought up, to have access to that data, and most importantly, it can help you plan infrastructure where people are riding and where your danger spots are, where you want to make safety improvements. So it's about building out the network, and now it's also about providing accessible and equitable transportation systems. So that's what dockless bikes are about. They're providing a lot of access. They're providing equity. So putting heavy regulations on it, I would strongly encourage against that, because I think there are people that actually want to use them and use them the right way. So
I have a question for you. You know a little bit about this. How's the liability issue coming along? So my 14-year-old drives one of these scooters and breaks his femur. Does the person, does the company
I think you have to be 18 to ride those.
Okay, so my 18-year-old breaks his femur.
Okay.
So what's the who has liability?
I think similar to you're signing a waiver or whatnot when you check it out on the app, if I'm correct.
So they're not. Are any cities requiring them to get liability insurance? Or?
I haven't access to that data, but they might.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something to look into for sure. But I've seen it as an effective system. I think it's working in a lot of other cities. I do think you're doing the right thing and looking at options. And I do like the North County approach of sort of collaborating together to make it a multi-city approach as well. So just and we're here as a resource down as you go through this. So I just wanted to offer that up too.
Appreciate it. Before you go, I think we have another question.
Question for you, Eddie. I agree dockless bikes have value. My question to you is, how do you see them having value in El Cajon? The bikes have been here probably at least 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
Today's snapshot survey was 3 abled, 22 disabled. How is this a good fit, in your opinion, for El Cajon?
If you're embracing, if it's something that you see as a good mobility option, which is what this is about. This is about providing a transportation, a mobility option that's alternative to your car, that supports your work on climate plans and reducing greenhouse gas and providing a safe, healthy, active transportation mode for your residents. Then, if you're taking that approach to it, then I think you can set it up the right way. You can work with the company with those goals in mind, and that's what this is about. And so bikes that are coming over here now, they're coming over here. And then they have to be retrieved or whatnot. But if the city's going to embrace a system and manage it with the company, then I think it could be a very good, healthy alternative for transportation.
How would you suggest we measure the demand for this bike in El Cajon?
Data. Watch the usage go up. I mean, I saw it right away. When they put the bikes out on the street in San Diego, people just started riding them a lot. And they're being used. And I would strongly encourage you. And I know Imperial Beach, as a matter of fact, when they set up the system as a pilot, they did it with Lime Bike, and they did access their data as a part of that agreement. So I would think that would be a helpful tool to you. Yep.
I think that would be helpful to city staff. Whatever data you can gather before you make a presentation would certainly add more to the discussion.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Do we have any other
No more
comment
speakers,
cards.
sir.
So I make a motion then to close public hearing.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote.
All right, so I think that the staff already has gotten a lot of direction from your comments and questions. Would anybody else like to specifically add anything to mention to Graham that before he comes back and brings us a suggestion? Okay, so Graham, I think you're set. We don't have to take any kind of action on this, right? All right, then. Item 20 is in reference to the Valley Motel. And staff, would you tell us about this, please? Hi.
Hello, Mayor Wilt.
How are you, sir?
Council. Okay, this one appeared first in 2015 in front of council. It actually started in October of 2014 with a referral that came to Building and Fire Safety. We went out to this property, did some inspection work, found that it was in a substandard condition. We had worked with the property owner to try and correct some things. It didn't go well at first. We brought it to council. Council did impose civil penalties. Civil penalties began to accrue. And then finally, when we did reach compliance on January 27th of 2015, we brought it back to council for final resolution. At that time, about 3 years ago, council determined that they wanted to actually impose civil penalties for $50,000 that the owner would have to pay over a 3-year period. He has paid that. City council wanted to hold the remaining amount, the $44,993, in abeyance for 3 years, at which time we would inspect again, see what kind of condition the property was in, and then council would make a decision on releasing that amount of civil penalties that were held in abeyance. We have inspected the property. There are a couple minor things that we saw that they corrected. That's expected. So now we're bringing it back to council to see what you'd like to do. Our recommendation is that you go ahead and waive the civil penalties that are held in abeyance.
Super. Any questions, Bob?
You said they were minor infractions. What would a minor infraction be like?
Minor infraction would be like a smoke detector that wasn't in place, maybe an electrical cord. I'm kind of remembering because some of the things we saw that was hanging down from a ceiling that needed to be reattached. Some fairly minor things. Compared, in comparison, when we first inspected, it was in very bad condition when we first inspected.
Right. Yeah,
So
and the
easily
management's been good there, so there hasn't been any management problems like there was before, and
yeah, the management's a lot better.
Good. Okay.
Question. Any change in the number of police calls?
Police calls for service have gone down. They're about what you kind of expect for complex. Typically about 1 per unit per year. As police calls for service is kind of like that ballpark where you consider it to be normal calls for service. So, in other words, this complex has, I think, 18 units. And so you expect about 18 calls for service per year, and you consider that to be normal. And that's about where they're at.
Okay. That answers that question. Any more questions? Thank you for your report. I appreciate that. Angela, do you have any speaker cards on this item?
We do. We have one from Shonda Wilson.
And Ms. Wilson, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. Thank you for your time. I'm the manager.
Oh, good.
Insofar as what he had said, there were some minor things that we did need to correct, one of which was a battery being replaced, something along those lines. They gave me an appropriate amount of time to correct it, and I had done so within a couple of days. I just simply did not know to look for those items needing to be done. I have since been educated, learned a lot more. We are constantly upgrading the rooms. We are, in fact, in the process of, have substantially completed removing all of the carpet flooring. We've put new wood flooring in and are upgrading all of the furnishings and everything in a constant effort to improve the property.
Okay. Let me see if there's any questions. Bob?
How long have you been the manager?
Since about 3 days after the previous manager was removed.
Congratulations. You've done a good job.
I had no
things
clue
look
what I was
like they're-
doing, but I'm learning step by step.
Yeah, well, you've done an outstanding job, stellar job.
Thank you.
So we're proud of your work that you do, and you've kept it on the straight and narrow, and that's what we like. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions? Ma'am, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote.
Well, Council, I think they have lived up to their end of the bargain. I think it's time for us to live up to our end of the bargain.
Yeah.
Any thoughts? Gary?
They did exactly what we asked them to do, so I think it's time to
Release.
Did I make a motion then?
Yes, I'll move that we release the $44,993 in established civil penalties held in abeyance for the Valley Motel at 585 North Mollison Avenue, and direct the staff to release the notice of restriction previously filed against the property.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote.
Well done. Thank you for working so hard. Okay. Well, there are no commission reports today. Item 19 is my activities report, and is as reported. I do not have anything to report as a legislative update today, and we are now at the activities report for reports for council members. Mayor Pro Tem Gary Kendrick.
As reported.
Councilmember Bob McClellan.
As reported.
Councilmember Ben Colascio.
They are as I've reported them.
Councilmember Steve Goebel. Oh, I apologize. Steve, go ahead and tell us about your activities report.
As reported.
And then, Ben, I think item 26 is yours. If you'd like
Yeah,
to tell us about it.
Yes. You recently played a tiny part in donating to a backpack school drive of sorts in Santee under, I think, organization SMOAC. And it was really well attended. They gathered school supplies, backpacks, pencils, pens, and all that for people who were underprivileged or couldn't afford it, or just to help out. So, like I said, I made a small, tiny contribution to it, and it worked out really well. And there's a ton of people. The community, it was a needed, thing for the community, and I would probably say that in El Cajon it would be needed more. And I say that knowing that there are other organizations that do similar stuff like that within their organization on a smaller scale. But in Santee, what happened was I think they got the whole city kind of behind it as that sole mission, and it worked out. So I'd like to do something like that here in El Cajon for next year before school starts to help out the kids. And maybe at the El Cajon Library as the pickup date, because they use the Santee Library. And I don't have a time, and I don't have a date. I would probably just mirror whatever they did in Santee, because it seemed to work really well. And Buddy Robaya, who was supposed to speak here today, had a family emergency, but he was going to come speak in support of it. So, yeah, there's that.
Okay, so what is the ask then?
I think, Graham, if I recall between our correspondence, it was just that the city endorsed the idea, because it's no fiscal impact. It's just like it endorses the idea and promotes it on social media. That's pretty much it, because I think it's pretty organic.
Council, have any questions or comments?
No.
Angela, do you have any speaker cards?
Yes, sir. We have two cards. The first speaker is Sunshine Horton.
Hi, Sunshine.
Hi, my name is Sunshine Horton, and I'm here to give my opinion on that idea. I've done a lot for this city, and I usually pay it with my husband's money, like always. And I think it's a great idea, but I wish that the person that is coming with it will back it up with the backpacks. Get all the backpacks out of his money and himself go get donations for the pens and everything, not for the city to do nothing. I want to do something, I say, Sunshine Horton is doing this, would you back me up with things? And I would go collect them, and I would pay for the biggest part of it, which is the backpacks. I would find out first how many kids in what schools and what grades and all that, because it's a lot of work. And I don't think that city deserves to get work that is only a simple idea, unless it's put together that way. You know, I'm doing this and I'm going to pay for the backpacks, and then I'm going to get for the everything that I need to buy, the pencils and all that, or I'm going to create a picnic and have people come and donate, or me. Then once that person gets it together, then I see it's a great idea. But right now what I see here is a lot of work for the city, in something that the person with the idea should come here with all the details and everything planned and see how he's going to do it. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Sunshine.
Jill Bartow.
School Board Member Bartow, how are you?
Good evening. How are you? I'm not used to being on this side of the diocese, but I wanted to come and speak on the backpack program. I love programs that help students. I am student focused. I have been since my kids were little kids, I've been on the board for 24 years. So this really touches my heart. Backpack supplies at the start of school are very appropriate to give out to students. But we already have nonprofits working on this throughout El Cajon. New Hope Center, Transitional Living Center, East County Posse, COPS, San Diego, Union, Stuff the Bus. I would suggest, instead of taking it on yourself as a city, to support these organizations that are doing this. Help them expand so we can make it a great program like Santee was this year. I think they did a brilliant job in Santee. I can see that happening in our own community with these organizations backing it. But just to start a new program that offers currently what other programs are doing confuses only to the donors, the supporters, and the parents. Also, it doesn't have accountability to the parents to be able to go to different organizations to get donations. So we can actually help more students if it's all done through certain organizations, so one parent can't come and get backpacks 3 or 4 times. But supporting an organization that already provides services is more appropriate for the city. I think if the city I think these organizations would love the city to put a big box in their foyer, and the departments have a donation campaign, such as City of El Cajon or City of Santee did. I think they would love the donations. They would also love your volunteer hours. I just don't think it's right for the city to do it when we have other organizations that are doing that. Thank you for your time.
You can stay there. I have a question for you. We didn't want the city to do it. That's not how it's written. It's written like how Santee did it. Okay. And the only thing that we're asking for is for social media and to let people know that it's happening. And I don't know if you remember when I said that I understand organizations do it, similar to Santee, but you can't argue that it worked phenomenally in Santee. So why are you robbing the kids in our city of that same opportunity? You're a board member. You should know better than that,
I am
Mrs.
not
Bartow.
robbing the kids, and I think that was uncalled for.
Not as uncalled for as you're saying.
I am saying that we need organizations that are already doing it to expand those organizations.
I agree.
I am not saying to take away from our students. I want more programs.
So this would be a more program, right?
Would be phenomenal. I think using an organization and promoting that organization would be wonderful. I just don't know how it would be from the city standpoint, how that would help those organizations unless they were connected.
That's not the ask.
Important.
That isn't the ask today. The ask today is that the program worked in Santee, like you acknowledged,
Yes.
did you not? And working with the people who set it up, like I've been in communication with, and getting that similar program here, knowing that other organizations do it. So again, I ask you, why do you think are the people in Santee smarter than us or more deserving? Why would you say that?
I never said that.
Why would you say it doesn't work here?
It has not been as successful in El Cajon. We have a higher need in El Cajon. Santee is more of an affluent area in most of Santee than El Cajon. We have a lot more needs for our students in Cajon Valley School District and our high schools.
We're saying the same thing.
I am not saying that I think they're better than us. I think we can become the best
Right.
in East County, whether that be Santee, Cajon Valley, or El Cajon or La Mesa.
So let's talk about this last thing. Do you think that underprivileged children need assistance in going back to school with not only backpacks but other items for the city?
Absolutely.
Great, thanks.
Our kids need it, and that's what I stated earlier.
Uh-huh.
Any other questions?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Are there any more speaker cards?
No more cards, sir.
I'd like to make a motion then to close public hearing.
Second.
Moved and seconded, please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote.
Our council, any thoughts? Steve?
We certainly don't want to use city resources to compete against private resources, to take away from private resources that might be doing a good job. We certainly don't want to create a government program that competes with it and distracts with it. I don't have enough details at this point to know if that would occur, so I would suggest sending this back to Mr. Kalasho for fleshing out in more details what would be promoted using the city's resources.
That's a good question, Steve. Thanks for asking it. There would be zero city resources used, and this isn't a government program. This is completely designed. It's organic by the people. The only thing the city would do is to just brand and advertise where the drop-off would be and the dates. Simple as that. So it's the resources, unless you're using resources in a different context.
Resources would be city staff time used to promote the program, which we don't know the details about yet. So I don't know that I can vote to say let's use city resources on a program that I don't know anything about yet.
So when somebody puts out a press release currently, like the good ones that Monica puts out, her putting in the one-liner is a big hurdle for you to get over?
I don't have enough information to vote whether to use city resources on a program that I don't have enough information on right now.
I know you said that 3 times, but what information are you looking for? Like, I gave you everything except the day and time. What specifically? So I
need to know more details on the program. Where's it going to go? Who's it going to benefit? When's it going to run? Are you working with other organizations to do it in partnership with? So actually, I'd make a motion to send this item back to Mr. Kalasho for more details.
Motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded. Please vote.
Motion carries by a 4-1 vote with Councilmember Kalasho voting no.
Councilmember Goebel, you want to tell us about item 28?
At the last city council meeting, we heard a report about Squad 6, and I believe it was close to 2,000 calls that Squad 6 has done in the short 7 months that the data represented. That's a lot of calls. I believe both the police department and the fire department last year had double-digit calls, meaning more than 10,000 calls for service. And certainly the police department has many more unanswered calls just due to call volume. I believe there's an opportunity to educate some users of the 911 system that not all calls really are an emergency situation. I've been on a ride along with both the fire department and the police department. I experienced those calls during my ride along that they were not indeed emergency situations of life or property threat. So I think there's an opportunity for staff to create a program to empower police officers, to empower firefighters, to give to people that they deem appropriate additional resources which might help steer people away from calling 911 and using other resources instead. That could be done via a pamphlet, could be done via a phone call, whatever staff decides to bring back. And in that sense, if we help educate perhaps even frequent users of the 911 system about what is a true emergency, we may actually reduce or at least maintain call volume. I think this is important to not portray 911 responders as uncaring. So they would have the judgment and the empowerment to decide when or when not to provide those resources. But I think there are social service agencies here in El Cajon on some of these 911 calls which could actually provide ongoing assistance to these people and enhance their lives so that may not need to call 911. These would be social service agencies that might provide in-home visits, that might provide meals, that might provide checking in and companionship, things that some people might be using the 911 system for, to call for a change of batteries in a remote control, to call to go get prescriptions from a pharmacy. We need to certainly save our 911 resources for true emergencies. I'm not saying we're uncaring. I'm not saying I don't want to put our emergency responders at risk for liability. I want the city staff to come back with educational opportunities and strategies to reduce 911 calls, and that's my proposal to send this to staff for more information.
All right. Any questions of Steve before we see if there's... Ben?
Yeah, now I'm concerned about resources. Who's going to print these pamphlets, if that's the route we take?
So my motion is to direct staff to investigate educational opportunities and strategies. This will be up to staff to decide, is there a printed material? Is it a phone number? Is it an agency? My direction here is asking the city council to direct the staff to investigate this educational opportunities.
I guess I would be in favor of putting it back on you to come back to us with more information as opposed to burdening staff with staff time and resources.
Again, my motion is to ask staff to investigate educational opportunities and strategies. I believe I've laid out my case to the council. If you think that this is not a good idea for police and fire to have the ability to present things to people to reduce 911 calls, then you should vote no on it.
No, I'm prepared to listen to that it's a good idea, but you just didn't come here today with enough information for me to make that judgment call. My
information is that we should direct staff to find out these investigational opportunities. You can vote yes or you can vote no.
Okay. Gary, you have a question?
Oh, I'll second that motion.
All right, motion's moved and seconded. Well, before I do that, though, I'm going to go back to Angela so I don't get in trouble again.
No cards, sir?
There are no cards. Okay, good. So now we have a motion on the table. It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
Motion carries by a 4-1 vote with Council Member Kalasha voting no.
Okay. There are no joint council member reports and no general information items for discussion. There are no first or second readings of ordinances today. And we are past closed session. Mr. City Attorney, did you get a chance to report out after closed session?
No, I did not, and we have a second closed session we still need to handle.
Okay.
As for item number 29, the closed session for a conference with legal counsel on existing litigation, the City Council gave direction to the city's legal counsel, and now the City Council is going to adjourn to a conference with legal counsel on existing litigation pursuant to paragraph 1 of subdivision D of California Government Code section 54956.9. The name of the case is City of El Cajon versus ASSCS LLC and Cloud9 Wellness Center.
All right. Then I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the closed session.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back to finish up the council meeting. It should not take very long at all.
the agenda, and the City Council gave the City Attorney direction on this action.
All right, this brings us to adjournment. The regular joint meeting of the El Cajon City Council and El Cajon Housing Authority held this 11th day of September 2018 is adjourned until Tuesday, September 25th, 2018 at 3 o'clock p.m. Thank you.